All right, another episode of the 206 Curve covering the absolute roller coaster of a season so far. Where we left you, we were victorious against Turek Skubal, and then we headed into San Fran, and then all hell broke loose.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. This
Not,
season hasn't been fun at all. It's been a very bad roller coaster to be on. Um, get me out of San Francisco, man. That was a nightmare.
yeah, and I mean, there have been some bright spots. I mean, obviously, like winning on opening day and splitting with the Athletics. And then you kind of go into San Fran thinking maybe you'll have a shot. Unfortunately, it was one of those series where you catch a team in their hottest part of the year. The Giants are a good team for sure, but I did think we could take two out of three. We had the potential to as well, but we're just facing them at the wrong time. Right place, wrong time. So we go into game one, and Luis F. Castillo makes his major league debut as a starter, or his first career start. Sorry, he has pitched in three games prior in relief. And it's
The
really
Pebble.
rocky. It's very, very rocky. Julio does lead off the game with a home run opposite field. I did catch a little factoid on the broadcast. So in Oracle Park, there's an average of five opposite field home runs in that ballpark a year from righties.
Re-
And that's combined with the Giants and opposing teams. And Julio already has one of them. So that was cool to see some opposite field power to start the game off. We know how to get after Verlander. Unfortunately, we don't see him anymore throughout the year. But yeah, so we jumped out to a lead. Then Luis had a really rough start, was pulled after two innings, I believe. And yeah, his final line was three innings, six hits, three runs. They were earned, two walks and two strikeouts, just really rough. But then what kind of put the nail in the coffin, you would have thought, was Salcedo making an appearance in the fourth and only registering an out, letting up two runs. They were earned, two hits. And like I said, only recorded one out. It was a strikeout. So that game kind of went back and forth. We went into extras and we got hosed. Sean Barber wanted to go home. He was like, I'm tired of this. Giants deserve to be happy on their opening day. They absolutely screw Carlos Vargas out of his first career save, and the Mariners get walked off by Willie Adames. So yeah, it's not fun.
If you wanted to go home, you could have just struck everybody out, and we would have just won, man.
True, but
Oh,
I think he had a little dinero on the home team there because I mean that was ridiculous. I mean I hate to be that guy to complain about the umpires, but that game was neck and neck, and that was a game that really could have swung the momentum this weekend or that weekend, and I really think that it was in his hands and he messed it up. I mean I can't be wrong there.
yeah, yeah, for sure. That definitely was one of the most game-changing, like at bats or two at bats I've seen an umpire have on a game. But it all kind of evens out at the end. Like we got a break
Right.
in our last game, so it they give it and they take it away. We gave up 10 runs. We lost. Like
Yeah.
the everything about that game was a disaster. Other than the offense, obviously, that was fantastic. Although they did get cold. They did go cold after the sixth inning. We could have really closed the door on them, but we did not.
Yeah, it was unfortunate too because we did use all of our bullpen on a series opener on a road trip. So everybody pitched. The spin zone there though is the Giants used all but one of their relievers as well. So we were kind of going into game two really exhausted, really tired, and to be honest with you, we really just got beat, straight up beat. We dropped game two of the series 4-1. Robbie Ray, former Mariner ace, he didn't really shine in his start. I mean, he went six strong, I'd say. Four hits, one run. It was earned. Five walks, but couldn't do anything with it. And two strikeouts. Meanwhile, on our side, Bryce Miller kind of continues to have kind of a slow start to the season. He went five innings, seven hits, four runs. They were earned. Three walks was really prolonged the inning where the runs were scored, and four Ks. Meanwhile, the bullpen, on short rest did their work. Trent Thornton came in and got two-thirds of an inning, and then we saw Jesse Hahn called up as kind of reinforcement. He went two innings and only let up two hits and a strikeout, and with
He's
along.
looked really good this year.
Yeah, no, he looks great. He didn't look great in spring. He was definitely getting knocked around in spring, so that was a little interesting to see him be the first call up. But obviously we'll get more to Jesse Hahn later. But yeah, game two just straight up beat.
Yeah. Uh, it's on repeat this year. It's just the offense just will just not do anything or give you anything to really be inspired about throughout the games. I mean, yeah, they've had their moments in some of these games. And like the game that we just talked about, they scored 9 runs and lost, or the last game that we'll talk about today. Just exploding in the last couple innings. But outside of some of these, their moments, they're. I mean, I said before the season I was excited and like that they would regress to the mean and they should, as a whole, as a unit, improve from last year just because there's no way they could be that bad again. But
Yeah.
it is a small-ish sample still, but it's not looking like there's any sign. There is one sign. They are taking some walks, but that's it. They're not, when they decide to swing the bat in any situation, whether it's a curveball in the dirt or a fastball right down the middle, they're not touching it. It's insane.
Yeah, and I think that also to kind of piggyback off what you were saying is they're taking a lot more walks. The strikeouts are down, although we will talk about the second game of the Houston series in a little bit. They have improved on their plate discipline, and they also have been able to move the runners over. They lead the American League in stolen bases. So that's kind of how they're manufacturing runs, and I think that's great. It's a better approach than last year where we were just swinging and missing and trying to hit home run balls. I will say as we close this game out, that we had 7 hits and 6 walks overall. One of the hits was a Dylan Moore nuke off Robbie Ray dead center. But after all that, I mean, you had 6 hits and 6 walks and nothing to show for it. 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. Randy Rosarena and Victor Robles both grounded into double plays, and Julio Rodriguez, J.P. Crawford, and Rosarena both all left runners in scoring position with 2 out. So it's just a frustrating game, but to be honest with you, there's really no notes to talk about there other than Bryce kind of having that rough start with his command a little bit, and that's a team that's going to eat you up with the heart of their order. Matt Chapman, Willie Adames, etc., Heliot Ramos. So yeah, I mean, we just got beat. I was really pissed off. I remember just being like, damn it. I really thought we could hop on Ray and really take him for a ride, but unfortunately, he got the better of us today, or
Yeah,
that.
in true Mariner fashion, the trade that we lost, trading Ray for Haniger, basically, he ends up he didn't pitch fantastic, but he did shut us down, and
Yeah,
that's great. And also, side note, my high school teammate did shut us down at the end. Ryan Walker, he pitched against us twice,
yeah,
and was
and
effective
former
both
Coug.
times.
So we're all just
And
like
former
this.
Coug,
Former Wesco,
yeah,
former Coug.
shout out Arlington High School.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
shout out.
he's awesome. That
Interesting
was a
fact
silver lining for me.
interesting fact about Ryan Walker. He didn't believe that he would be drafted out of college. He said he had a rough junior year and a rough senior year. But then the Giants really showed faith in him, albeit a really late round pick, but they were able to develop him, and he's found a lot of tools that obviously have brought him into the closing position, and he's taken it with stride because Camilo Duvall, oh my God, fell off a freaking cliff. He's terrible. Mariners,
Another little side note about Ryan Walker before we get to Duvall. Sorry.
yeah.
I was talking to him in high school and when he got offered by WSU, and he was upset because he wanted to go there, but like they only wanted him to be a pitcher, and he wanted to go play shortstop in college, or at least be like a two-way player. I believe WSU might have been like his only offer,
Hmm.
or at least his very best offer, because that's where he decided to go. But it's very fascinating because if he would have gotten a decent offer somewhere to play shortstop for a team, this
We would
we
never have
wouldn't have
lost.
gotten shut down by. Yeah, we would have won this game. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, that's nuts. Yeah, and like just quick anecdote on Camilo Duvall, he's completely lost it, and it's really sad. I mean, it just happens with relievers that are kind of pushed into the closer role a little bit, but man, dude, he looked rough. Okay, now to the unfortunate game on Sunday. Kind of sent this season into a tailspin. You were coming into it 3-6. The Mariners once again neck and neck battle with the Giants. So we start off Julio homers again, so you're getting deja vu from Friday. Then Cal Raleigh homers, and then you're just trying to hand it off to Brian Wu. But I hate to say it, Brian Wu has become Robbie Ray in his first two starts because he has that one bad inning, and that bad inning is the fourth inning. His ERA in the fourth inning is his jersey number 22 in the fourth inning.
Oh God.
Disgusting, albeit two starts. But that's when they pounced on him. Elliot Ramos singled. Jung Hoo Lee scored. And then the death blow, what seemed like, was Mikey Yastrzemski homered, and that was a three-run homer. So that brought it to 4-2. And but here's what we're talking about too, and we'll mention this in the Houston series. The team did show some light in the later innings. I mean, they ended up scoring in the sixth, and then scoring in the ninth to tie it. So I also think that we can take that as a reflection from last year. I feel like last year there was plenty of times where we just got down and we rolled over. And I haven't seen this team really roll over yet. I mean, we got shut out the second game of the year, but I haven't really seen them outside of that. And it's a really small sample size, but I haven't seen them really roll over and give up, which I really appreciate as a fan. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, that is something, I suppose. In San Francisco, I mean, granted that second game was pretty bad. They did get 7 hits in that game, and
right,
obviously in the first game they scored 9, and in this game they had 11 hits, so they found maybe something in San
right.
Francisco
No,
to at
and
least get some hits.
the offense does perform well on the road, which makes sense because T-Mobile Park is really hard to hit in. But I mean, we'll get there later. But so yeah, Randy on the last on our last strike ties it up. So then we go to the ninth inning, and this is where all hell breaks loose. Gregory Santos comes in because everyone is just dying of rest. So now he has to come in to try to push this to extras. And he didn't throw a strike. It was a four-pitch walk. And then a foul ball to right field. Victor Robles comes flying in, makes a spectacular catch. It is the catch of the year. I don't care who makes another catch all year. That catch was absolutely ridiculous. But unfortunately, that cost him. He ended up fracturing the top of his shoulder and had to get carted off.
I've
And his
never heard that before.
well, it's just an interesting injury too when you look at it because he was obviously holding his wrist, but it was a dislocation thing. And if you go back and look at it, he dives and you can kind of see his shoulder just move one way and his body is moving another way. And it's just complete, I mean, axis just totally split. And I just feel awful for him. The diagnosis took a couple days, but he will be out 12 weeks at the minimum. That's 6 weeks of doing absolutely nothing, and then 6 weeks of rehab. That's not accounting for, maybe it is accounting for maybe a rehab stint for a week in Tacoma. Maybe it's just going to depend on how it looks. But yeah, all-star break, it's looking like for him. Potentially all season if his recovery, if he starts rehab in 6 weeks, he might need surgery. So really
Yeah.
sucky blow. That's your leadoff hitter. That's a big clubhouse voice. It's just tough to see.
Yeah, I like him a lot. I'm a fan of Victor Robles, and what he did for us last year was amazing. Um in terms of like on the field for this season, I mean, it sucks, but he was kind of just like one of many who just weren't performing that well. Some of his I appreciate guys who are super aggressive, but like if you're gonna have like a 600 OPS, then I those at bats are tough to look at, man.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, and I mean, I kind of classify Victor Robles as in our core. I like to put him in the core of our hitters because I feel like he's a step above the guys that we want to categorize him with, you know. So I don't think he's the worst hitter in our lineup. He's not the best, but he's part of the 1 through 6, or at least 1 through 5, and that was just a crucial blow to an offense that was already struggling. And it kind of showed our wear and tear and organizational depth in right field because we really don't got anybody. I mean, we called up Dom
yeah.
Canzone, and we'll get to him in a second, but putting Luke Raley out there. I mean, and Luke Raley is a great player. I have an interesting fact for you later about Luke Raley. But he's a lefty. He can't really hit the lefties well. So at least, we face more righties than lefties, but it really just sucks because we don't have really an outfielder. I mean, you could probably put Dylan Moore in left and then move Randy over to right. We haven't seen that yet because we faced a couple lefties down the line. So I'm not sure. But yeah, it was just a crushing blow. And then, to close out the game, Santos on the next pitch lets up a go-ahead single, and they ended up walking off and completing the sweep. So we returned to Seattle 4-7, or sorry, 3-7. It's kind of spoiled the next game. But
Oh,
yeah, we come to face Houston, who is also struggling against the Twins. So yeah, I mean, going in, we got Houston on deck, and we get the scoring started with a Ryan Bliss two-run homer, absolute shot out to left center. Houston kind of tries to come back. They end up taking the lead in the eighth via, let me see here. It was I know how they took the lead. It was a bases loaded two-run error by Dylan Moore, who should not be playing third base. They let up 2 runs, and they take the lead 3-2. Yeah, there was some cuss words said in the direction of Dylan Moore. As much as we love his bat, we need to all acknowledge that Dylan Moore is not a
is
third
a
base.
Gold Glove utility
I don't
player,
know how you
right? That's what you're
qualify
about
for
to
that.
say?
I don't know how you qualify for that. Do you have to meet a certain standard? Because I know the Mariners played him in like 4 different positions last year. Do you just have to be plausible at that position? Because I'll tell you something. He don't got the arm for third base. He made a play. He made an amazing play after his two-run error, so it really doesn't cancel out for me that much. He cannot play third base. If you had Dylan Moore at second, which if we go out and acquire a third baseman, I'm all for. He can't. No, he can't do it, man. I mean, it's crazy
But like, who's gonna play third? It's because Jorge Polanco also looked pretty bad at third.
for sure.
And like, uh, you gonna play Mastrobuoni? I would
No,
like him out in the lineup.
I think that yeah, they'll probably keep playing Dylan at third with just how thin we are. But I would like to see an improvement there, and maybe Dylan surprised me, man. But you got to have more online throws, and we saw it with Josh Rojas. He was a second baseman, turned third baseman, so maybe just some more reps at third. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so the Astros take the lead 3-2, but not by God, it's Jorge Polanco's music. He hits a go-ahead single, and Dylan Moore scores. Master Boney scores. We take the lead 4-3, and we never give it back. Andres Munoz flawless ninth, and we get out of there with the series, or well, not the series win, but we did get the win there. So we won 4-3. Pitching wise, Logan Gilbert, an amazing outing. 5 2/3, 1 hit, 1 run. It was earned, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. The 1 run was just a home run. Trent Thornton held down the fort, and Gregory Santos got the win, but also the blown save, which is crazy. How do you get that's nuts. That's a rough
Yeah,
night.
that was not a fun. Yeah, a hit and 2 walks in an innings pitched, but you get the win. Uh,
Well, yeah. But then the 2 runs were not earned. That
hmm
should have been an easy out. He should have been out of it. And then yeah, so the 2 walks, yeah, he just really couldn't find it. And then yeah, Munoz with a lights out save. The reason I go through the boxes and I highlight the bullpen is before we transition to this next game, this bullpen has been tested a lot, and they're not really the names that we were expecting. We were waiting on Troy Taylor. We're waiting on Matt Brash, who we'll touch on in a little bit. But these guys are making the most of their opportunity. There's really only been 1 or 2 that have really struggled out the gates, like you see Saucedo that was optioned before the San Fran series. But they have done a lot of good when, with a large amount of work early on in the year. So
Yeah, it's kind of bittersweet because in the bullpen games, a la Louis, the Pebble, Luis F. Castillo, they haven't really held down any fort, but um, they've been so overworked. They've been like the most used bullpen. Like they've thrown the most innings out of anybody in Major League Baseball this year, I think, or
yeah,
at least top three. And
yeah.
last year they were the fewest. Um, and yeah, there's some really amazing pieces in there that is so exciting. The fact that Gregory Santos looks pretty good makes me feel a lot better about
Yeah.
that trade. We got him in that the
Prelander
Suarez
Zach
trade, right?
Deloach trade.
Oh, well, who did we get in the Suarez trade? I thought it was him.
Carlos Vargas.
Right. My bad. Santos came from the White Sox.
Yeah.
Great trade, like that one. That's what I meant. Didn't mean to talk about Santos. I meant to talk about Vargas there. He's looked pretty
Okay.
good.
Yes.
I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy with what I'm
Yes.
seeing there.
I'm happy
Granted,
we're seeing a
Suarez is.
little war in our direction in that trade. I mean, it's still going to be lopsided as hell because Sebi Zavala is just a literal piece of fat. But sorry, Sebi, if you're watching this, you fucking suck.
Hey, I'll ride with you. I'll ride with you there. Fuck it.
Carlos Vargas coming in and then, making an impact this year. And I was talking to my buddy about it. I'm like, it is so weird seeing Carlos Vargas out of the pen because we didn't see any of him last year. So you kind of thought maybe he was just filler, but he's really making the most of it. And like I said, I was pissed that he couldn't get his first save on Friday. I thought he was in line for it. It looked great. Just got hosed
hmm
by Sean Barber.
He still doesn't have a strikeout this year.
That's kind of nuts.
Santos.
Oh, yeah,
An
Santos.
absurd,
Yeah, his ground ball
absurd
rate.
ground ball rate. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
our guy. He's the ground ball guy. We get a guy on base, let's get him in. Let's get a double play going. Yeah. Yeah, so great way to start the series. And then we go into the game two of the series. And it's a great outing from Luis M. Castillo. He has another great outing, five innings, 5 hits, no runs, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Really, those 2 walks were kind of annoying because they came in the same inning, and he probably could have went one more. But that's just kind of getting greedy on our part. But yeah, so in this one, uh, we both scored in the seventh and then said that's going to be it for a while. We ended up going to the 12th. We had plenty of opportunities to score. The lineup struck out 19 times. We were 1 for 19 with runners in scoring position. We left 10 on base. Garver grounded into a double play. Julio, Bliss, Dylan Moore, Garver, and Cal all left runners in scoring position with 2 out. Bliss 3 times. Um, so some great defensive plays in that game. We had plenty of chances to win, and we could not get it done. We were just outlasted. 12.
This was probably the worst. This was probably the lowest, other than that San Francisco game where Victor Robles got hurt. In terms of like just the team looking
Yeah.
like a baseball team, oh man, this might have been the low of the year for me. Like this was the most upsetting watch of all time. Like I can't believe I watched this whole game. It was disastrous. It was so disgusting. It looked like a single A team out there trying to hit a baseball.
Yeah, it was not good. This is no props to the Astros either. They have no bullpen. They don't. They have Hader, who pitched 2 innings in that game, but they don't have a bullpen anymore. They have Brian Abreu, who I've always been really high on. But I mean, outside of that, it's like 5 lefties too. By the way, they have like 5 left-handers in their bullpen, which is nuts, and it's kind of inverse to our bullpen. But I've never seen that many lefties in a damn bullpen. Um, yeah, so vibes were really low. We wake up the next morning, we have a day game with the Pebble on the mound. So it's like, kill me. We get an update that Ryan Bliss tore his left bicep, and he tore it on a swing. You could definitely see where, if you go back to watch that game, he tore it swinging through an 85-mile-an-hour slider. You could tell that he was hurt. Props to him, though. This was in the fifth inning. He proceeded to play 7 more innings, a couple more at bats. He made an awesome stop off the bag that saved a run, didn't throw it, but he was still
Play the
playing
year.
second base. So yeah, real dog alert there, Ryan Bliss. Um, it's really shitty because he's going to be out for 4 to 5 months. So likely just going to say the season unless, September, I don't know, rolls around and he's feeling good. But it really sucks. This was his year to kind of make the most of it. And I really hope he gets a chance, maybe on the bench or, maybe next year. But he's a great guy to have. And yeah, just best wishes to a speedy recovery for him. So yeah, that just leaves another hole that we'll get to in a little bit after this game recap. But yeah, it's just a tough Just tough loss. Yeah, but Luis Pebble Castillo said, "Listen, I'm gonna give it all I got. You got to give it all you got. Let's win this damn series." Proceeds to let up three in the second inning. So we start off down 3-0. Lets up another run. Finishes his career with 4 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 were earned, 5 walks, and 3 strikeouts. His career ERA, his career ended today. That was a retirement match. They said
The
he had to
retirement
get to.
match.
They said he had to get to. They said he had to get to 5 innings, or else he had to retire. So,
Oh God.
yeah, couldn't quite get
Cage
there.
match.
but,
Oh man.
so yeah, so we spent a lot of this game down by a lot. We were down 5-0. And then we got the runners in scoring position. That's our favorite thing to do. But Randy Arozarena, my God, hits a grand slam. Okay, now it's five to
Oh,
four.
rye
Whoa,
bread.
whoa! Bring out the rye bread and mustard. This one was a grand salami. There was no doubt about it. Brian Abreu is just like, what the hell's wrong with me? Kind of Camilo Duval arc. Um, but yeah,
Aw.
so he brings it close, and then we see Casey Lawrence come in. Casey Lawrence, who hasn't pitched since I believe 2021, with the Mariners. I know he's been in a couple different systems. So he came in and he let up a run in the ninth. So I'm like, well, there goes the vibes. We're down 6-4. But all of a sudden, this team said, I don't want to die yet for some reason. We got Miles Mastroboni singling, Donovan Solano getting on base. Uh,
I at that point I was like I never made it this far in my dreams. Like
yeah,
both of those guys
exactly.
got on base in order? Holy
Exactly.
shit.
JP Crawford reaches on a fielder's choice. And then you see Julio Rodriguez. And Julio, there's one out. It's an 0-2 pitch. It's outside the zone. He reaches out and pokes it into right field. Mastroboni scores. Donovan Solano comes rumbling over to the plate. And JP gets a third. Very clutch moment, ties the game. So then you're at a point where you're like, once again, the Mariners have shown late life, but if we went to extras in this game, we were absolutely screwed. We were burning through the bullpen. It was just one of those games where if we go to extras, we're losing this game. Well, Mitch Garver walked in a very controversial ball four, but he showed really great discipline. It was a borderline strike, borderline ball. He could have called it either way. Cal Raleigh's like, I'm clutch. Psych hits it right to Christian Walker, who guns it home. But for some reason, Carantini doesn't try to throw back. I don't know if he wouldn't have got him there. But then we have Randy Rosarena up. Grand slam last at bat. Instead, inverse probability here. He goes, I'm just not going to swing. A walk-off walk to win the series against Houston. 7-6. Unreal. Unfreaking real.
Yeah, that was I'll take the credit for that one. I was watching the game at work and through like 4 or 5 innings, I was like, this is just pathetic. This is just like the last game. I can't believe I'm doing this to myself at work. I'm making myself even more miserable. This is supposed to make my work day happier, watching a Mariner game, but it's actually making it worse. So I turned it off and I checked again in the eighth. I'm like, whoa, we scored 4 runs. That's crazy. Oh, we're down. Oh, we gave up another run in the ninth. All right, I'm not even gonna bother watching it. And then I turned it back and there was one out and the bases were loaded. I'm like, wait, or there's runners on first and second. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to watch this. And then yeah, what happened and it actually made the workday a heck of a lot better.
Yeah,
It was phenomenal.
I actually did the exact same thing at the exact same time. I had the game on in the background a lot at work, and then I was like, I'm done." And then I listened to the radio, which I'm now listening to on MLB TV. You can listen to radio calls overlaying the game. I'm doing that this weekend at least because that's really badass. I've never done that. Rick Riz is awesome. Shout out Aaron Goldschmidt and whoever is doing color. But yeah, that was really cool. Yeah, so as it stands, 6-8. Okay, 6-8. We're really
Uh,
banged up. We got an off day,
5 and 8,
5-8.
5 and
Sorry,
8.
foreshadowing here. 5-8. We
Don't
uh
get
we welcome
greedy.
So we'll preview the next we'll preview the next couple series, let you know when we're going to record next, and then we'll talk about the injuries, we'll talk about the rotation really quick just to kind of put a button on this episode. So we have an off day. Friday we take on the Rangers. They're red hot. They're leading the division. And they got DeGrom going, Kumar Rocker, and Nathan Eovaldi. Nathan Eovaldi's looked great. I know in my Texas Rangers preview, I said that Nathan Eovaldi's going to have to continue to look great and not regress for that rotation to kind of mesh, and it has. He's been doing great. We got Logan. We got Luis M. And then we got, or no, sorry, excuse me. We have Bryce, Brian, and Logan. Sorry. And then we go off and we have another off day. So we actually have a break, 3-game series at home, another break. Awesome. That is a great scheduling gods. Thank you. And then we take on Cincinnati, and we will record after the 9:40 a.m. game on Thursday, April 17th. So that is when our next recording is going to be. Yeah, so as we look ahead, let's talk about this situation at hand. I don't know why am I lagging here on my,
Yeah, a little bit.
I don't
A
know
little
what's going
bit.
on. You can still hear me though, right?
Yeah, you're fine. Audio's
Cool.
great.
Well, maybe it just, I don't know. This is a podcast, not a freaking video cast. So as we look forward, let's deal with the situation at hand. Robles, Bliss, both out for prolonged periods. What do you think is the immediate solution here?
Well, they called up Leo Rivas. He's actually very tiny, a lot smaller sample size, but he's been really good in AAA. I was looking at Cole Young. I was like, is this a chance? Is this a chance for one of our top prospects to get a shot? And again, small sample, but it's been rough. It's been rough in AAA for the kid. And I mean, he's still super young. I it's not like we're in super desperate mode right now. The season's already spiraling a little bit, and we're kind of holding on. But calling up like one prospect isn't gonna like change everything. So
Yeah.
I think, especially when it's not like playing that well right now. So I'm
Yeah.
fine with keeping him down there. Leo Rivas has actually looked pretty good. He would fit in. He's gonna fit in perfectly to what this team does already. I was gonna mention. You said that we lead the league in stolen bases, but we also lead the league in something else. Do you know what that is?
Caught stealing.
Walks.
There you go.
We lead the American League in walks, which is pretty freaking sick. We just can't hit the ball. Our batting average is at 200, and there's two teams at 199 below us.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's bad. But he walks. Leo Rivas takes a lot of walks, and he'll play whatever defense. He'll play fine defense. He's not Ryan Bliss, but he can play all the infield positions and you know just kind of keep the line moving, whatever it is.
Yeah, and he's had experience with this team. He was here for August and September last year. He's a great guy, a very journeyman player. He can play a couple different positions, which is good. But at the status at hand, I know that you're talking about, Cole Young's small sample size. He has gotten a couple knocks, but his average is not looking great. Here's the thing about it too, is Cole Young, a lot of people forget he was a first round pick. Okay. And also Harry Ford was also a first round pick. They just haven't panned to the point where they were able to take control and really replace somebody the last couple of years on this team. Um, and albeit, rooting for Cole Young and Harry Ford and maybe Ben Williamson, Shenton, or whatever to make the team, it's I don't think it's in bad faith whatsoever because we need to characterize our prospects here. We have 8 prospects in the top 100. Cole Young and Harry Ford are on that list, albeit very low compared to our Cole Emerson, Feline Celestin, anything like that. But here's the thing: this is a bridge year for to get those prospects up. So might as well just call the bridge prospects up. I think that this lineup desperately needs more left-handed hitting, and I think that Cole Young could definitely slide in there and hit. I'm not gonna say he's
Is
gonna
Cole
start.
Young a bridge prospect though? Like he's supposed to be good, like pretty good. Like he's not gonna be like a superstar,
Well,
but
that's
like
what I'm
he could
saying
be
is
like an all-star type of player.
no, and no, that's not what, no, that's not, I didn't mean to knock Cole Young at all. I'm just saying in comparison to Lizardo Montez, Feline Celestin, and Cole Emerson, who do have those potential all-star comps.
True, but those are all teenagers, and they're got probably multiple years away, with the
No,
exception of
without a doubt.
Lazaro Montez.
That's why I'm saying we got to bring guys like Cole and Harry up because I think they've paid their dues in the minors at least a little bit. Cole Young never really got hype or out of the draft. I remember when they drafted him, they immediately said, he's locked at second base, really not a shortstop, doesn't have the arm, could be a left fielder. So Cole Young can play anywhere on defense that we need him to play. I mean, not third base, but he could play left field, second base, kind of like an Adam Frazier, I think, off the rip, kind of guy that hits for contact. And then also,
Oh yeah, that'll get Mariner fans excited.
it'd get me excited if someone could hit for contact. That'd be great. But also, the case for Harry Ford too is if you're going to keep putting Garver in the DH role, and then you're kind of figuring out what you're going to do with Jorge, because Jorge told the team, "Hey, I can only hit DH now, and by the way, I did something with my side, and I can't hit from the right side anymore. I'm only going to hit left-handed for a while." So that's where Garver slides in. But I also think that Harry Ford, the Mariners last year before acquiring Randy Arozarena, trotted out Harry Ford for 2 or 3 series in left field. They wanted to see what they got. He was serviceable out there. And all signs indicate that they were going to call him up if they didn't get Randy Arozarena. So I say why not play him in left field? Worst case, he got a third catcher. Um, and I just say, why not? There's just guys on this team that don't belong. I mean, Rowdy Tellez is terrible. Donovan Solano, I guess maybe cool. He had some relevance in the last couple of games, but he's bad. Miles Mastroboni, everyone wants to point at his average. He's hitting 300, but this is in limited opportunities, guys. What are we doing? So I don't know. In the terms of who I'm going to root for in lieu of maybe a trade or when guys are going to get healthy, I'd rather root for the young guys because there's no trade value in Cole Young and Harry Ford anymore. Might as well just go and trot them out, develop them in the big leagues with this opportunity that you have faced. And I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen in May, though, so they can kind of manipulate the service time because once you call someone up after May 1st, that you get a free, basically another free year out of it, and that's just Mariners organization written all over it. But I seriously like, why not? What's the harm in it? You know what I mean?
I suppose I'm surprised to see that you're so down on Cole Young. I mean, he's
I'm
only
not down on
21
Cole
years
Young. I
old.
want him to play tomorrow. I want him to be leading
You
off
said he's got
tomorrow.
no you said he's got no trade value. I
He's
mean,
got
I
no trade
understand a
value.
little bit with Harry Ford just because he's like 24 now, and I mean, he's been good in the minors. He has been like fantastic, but like Cole Young is like a top 100 prospect, and he's 21 years old, and he's been nothing but successful in the minors. Like he's moved up well and looked pretty good at every level he's played at. It's just he's just like his schedule would kind of dictate him to be in the minors this year unless he kind of goes off, which he's off to a slow start, but his
No,
walk rate
and
is still pretty
here's the
high.
thing: is I say he's got no trade value because I'd rather him play for the Seattle Mariners. I want him to be a
Mm.
Mariner. And really, I just think when teams are coming to us or we're coming to teams for their players, I'm sure they're looking at the next phase of our prospects. Yorger Batista, Feline Celestin, Lazaro Montez. If we trade Lazaro Montez, I will murder somebody. But they're looking at that phase. They're not looking at the Locklears, the Williamsons, the Cole Young, the Harry Fords. So I'm just ready to have them be Mariners. Let's just have them all be Mariners.
Yeah, that'd be
That's what I'm
fun. That'd
saying.
be fun. The only problem is that all those names that you said that they should call up right now, which I would be very happy and excited if they did. All of them, I looked at all of their numbers. They're all off to bad starts this year. I can't believe it. All of them. It's
Yeah.
insane.
Well,
Of course,
it's also fair to note that they've only played like 3 series, and they play in the PCL. So they're playing a lot of fringe guys that might be in a better spot in the PCL. Case in point, Drew Pomeranz is looking awesome for the Mariners bullpen, but that just he might be punching below his weight. I just want to see it happen because guess what? We're watching has-beens struggle up top, and I'd rather see a Cole Young at bat where he strikes out, but I say, listen, this is development. He's developing, he's seeing major league time. He's making this is an opportunity for Harry Ford and Cole Young to be Seattle Mariners without a doubt. And maybe even, I think Shenton would probably be the next to be up, and I know he's had some major league experience, but this is another opportunity for Ben Williamson. This is their opportunity to kind of stick around. Worst case, they're right back down, or they're just one.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Um, I do want to kind of hold off on like Cole Young just because he does have a pretty dang good ceiling, but like the other guys, like you mentioned, like Williamson and Shenton, and I don't know if you mentioned Locklear.
Yeah,
Um, those three guys, Locklear has gotten off to a good start, but yeah, bring those guys up. Yeah, worst case scenario, they're probably as good or if not better than like Rowdy Tellez.
right.
Um,
And
and
you
like
lose nothing DFA and Rowdy Tellez. You're not paying him anything. I guess the last guy to go would probably be Solano because you actually paid him something. But guys like
yeah,
Miles Mastroboni, Leo Rivas, Tellez, and it's like, and listen, I like you said, there's upsides to each one of them. I don't know what it is for Rowdy. Like I think he's got one more week on this team before they're like uncomfortable conversation. Like you started off hot, we gave you a shot. You didn't really do anything with it. Um, but I don't want him to be sequestered into playing first base. I brought this up last night to my buddy. Could you imagine if we had Carlos Santana right now? We would be in heaven. We'd have a first baseman switch hitting that everybody loves. He can hit for power, he can hit for contact, but unfortunately, he's old. He passed up. We gave him the checkbook. We said, "Here's a blank check of $12 million. Here's all of our payroll," and he's like, "No."
yeah,
Um, Now, I tweeted this earlier as well. Yandy Diaz and Christopher Morel were both two targets that the Mariners targeted last trade deadline. Morel was more of a shock. I didn't expect us to go after a guy like that, especially because he strikes out a lot. And then Yandy Diaz was obviously someone that Houston and us we bid in. We went to a bidding war all the way to the witching hour, and then nothing happened. He's still a Ray, albeit he's struggling this year. I'm just kind of curious of, we've seen the Mariners and the Rays make trades around like May or June. We've seen it with Alex Colomé. We've seen it with Denard Span, who turned out to be great, both of them. Diego Castillo as well. I'm curious to see if like the Rays, because they're not good. The Rays are terrible. They're one of the worst teams in baseball. And I'm just kind of curious if like Morel was really a cornerstone. He's really not playing anywhere defensively. He's got a bat and he would be great for the Mariners at third base. And then Yandy Diaz, I mean, he's already was supposed to be a Mariner. Let's go out and get him. I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know whether the phones are on. But I just thought that'd be kind of an interesting way to kind of stopgap the injury, and I think we would be fine. And maybe if we even made that trade at the deadline, I would be like, okay, I don't know, just something I thought about.
yeah. That'd be exciting, and we definitely need to add some pieces. But I just it's a matter of w- like we've put ourselves behind the eight ball to start this season, and how much are you willing to spend for like non-superstar players?
Right.
Like will adding like okay players like Christopher Morel
You're right.
and Yandy Diaz is probably more than an okay player.
Yeah. Just a slow
But
start of the year.
yeah, he's had some phenomenal seasons. Last year was pretty good, not fantastic by any means, but yeah. What do you trade? What are you gaining if you're gonna add like a 33-year-old Yandy Diaz, or Christopher Morel's kind of young, but again, he's not like a superstar by any
Well,
means. He's just like a fine player.
right. And I think I've really accepted the Mariners season as this. I mean, 2022, obviously, we make the playoffs. 2023 and 2024, we just saw them kind of just moot point, not make the playoffs, just kind of sit there stagnant. They made a couple additions, Randy Rosarena, and a couple more that were rentals. But I'm thinking like, The Mariners obviously want to stay cheap. They want their players to progress. Everyone in that second phase of that prospect class is hitting very, very well to start off the season. Even Durangelo Senjay is pitching awesome. I'm thinking this is a pivot that we're this is like I said, bridging between the top prospects of when they're supposed to be here. There is no reason at all that Cole Young should not be a Mariner on May 1st. But if it's not going to be Cole Young, it's got to be someone who's hit in the major leagues before, or at least just had a chance. Like, I mean, Christ, I mean, listen, side note, I did a little Mariner franchise after that Saturday game because I'm like, I'm so pissed off. I'm gonna do this better. I only moved for one guy, and it was Will Benson, a left-handed DH who could just hit for power. And I really think that's all that the Mariners need. They just need a couple more left-handed batters. MLB Network, brain dead, suggested that we sign JD Martinez. Does not make any sense at all because he is a right-handed DH. We already have 15 of those. So yeah, that would be stupid as hell. Granted, I mean, I guess I'd take the bat, but you'd have to get rid of Garver then. I couldn't justify Garver being on the team. But yeah, I mean, as we wrap up this episode, where do we go from here going into Texas and Cincy?
It's just I don't know where we go. This is a mess. Like this team has shown there's no depth and they just keep on getting just kind of hit in the face with a frying pan at every turn. I think we just kind of have to stay the course, man. I hate that. I hate to say that. That's the worst thing. Um, and it's just so sad. I'm almost at the point to where it's like, yeah, I'm kind of accepting the fact that we're going to be around 500 um come trade deadline and we're not going to be showing much promise above that. And like do we trade like we're not going to spend money ever, so what pitcher do we trade? That's kind of where I'm at.
No, no, no. You can't be thinking that. No. Because if
That's
we're
where
at
I'm at.
500, if we're competitive, we're always going to buy. And it's not going to be swinging high with the rentals that you're talking about. But the Mariners all have always supplemented their roster. They've never sold. And you take out the COVID year when we traded Jay Bruce and Edwin Encarnacion. We don't sell. We do not sell. We buy if we're close.
But like how do we I granted I last during the offseason recap I was like, you know what, we tend to make our moves during the season. But like and that's how we add payroll to our roster. But I don't like this
Well, it's
team
also
needs to
hard to
turn it
project.
around. Like this offense needs to do something in the next month.
Yeah.
Like this is ridiculous. Like the batting averages, I'm not a batting average guy, but if your batting average is below 200, you're bad. Like
Yeah.
this is ridiculous how
And
this is a major league lineup.
it's also hard to theorize ways to fix a team because you're right, you're in the middle you're not even you're starting the season. We're like 13, 14 games in. You don't even know who's available. So really I think you just kind of my attitude is, game by game, let's try to win series by series. I'm really happy that we won the Houston series. Texas is going to be tough. Wyatt Langford is on the IL, so there goes their leadoff power hitter. I really just
They,
want to see us take as many series as we can and try to get to the deadline a little bit over 500 to where we're in that spot, like you're mentioning, to where we can say, listen, we can go and buy, Randy Rosarena was just crazy cheap and we thought he was God. So, there's a lot of players that will go for less. And we kind of have that prospect capital to do so. I don't think we're going to go out and get like a Vlad, even though he's not available anymore. But I don't know who's going to really be available at the deadline. You don't really know. And if I had to
yeah.
guess, if the Mariners were to sell somebody, and this would be, worst case scenario under 500 at the deadline, I think it'd be Munoz. I think they'd probably trade Munoz. They get a haul for him like Tanner Scott did. I don't think they trade any of the pitchers. Maybe Luis. Luis M.
The Pebble?
Luis F is
Oh.
not a pitcher anymore. He's done. He just announced his retirement.
Yeah,
Happy
he retired. He
retirement.
lost his wrestling match and he's out
Yep.
of here.
Yep. But yeah, I think Luis would probably be the one to answer your question, but I don't think that we will get to that point. We're a fighting team. There's plenty of
We are a
games.
fighting team.
We're a fighting
We
team.
are
We
a
got to
fighting
fight
team.
it.
And if I'll continue to toot my own horn a little bit. During the offseason recap again, I did say or maybe it was not the offseason recap. It was the look ahead, preseason look ahead. I said the American League sucks,
It
and
does.
currently it does suck. The Rangers have the best record in the league, and they have a negative run differential. So I don't know if I don't know what's what. Is it the run differential that's true and the record's false, or the record's true and the run differential is false moving forward? But like the next best is the Angels. They suck. Okay, they're not gonna. Even though I love the Angels, what they're doing, um, Yoan Moncada is not gonna take them to the promised land, no matter how much I'd love him to. But like the only other team is like the Yankees are. They look good. The Tigers look good. And then after that, it's like maybe the Blue Jays, maybe the Royals if they get hot.
Right.
I'm not seeing Houston being much of an issue this year.
Not at all.
They look awful. They look like the Mariners, basically.
Yeah, and we haven't. I
It's
mean, Texas has played the Rays. They got beat up against the Cubs. They've played just some easy teams this year. And to be honest with you, I'm excited. Like I said, I was looking forward to playing both Houston and Texas right out of the gate, so you kind of get a heat check here. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to playing Cincinnati on the road. I think that they're another team where kind of matches up well with us, and we're also playing at Great American, so it's a hitter's ballpark. Maybe get the offense just in a groove there. Just looking way ahead, we got Toronto and Boston on the books as well. But I think that's going to wrap up our episode. Like I said, just chewing away at it. We'll figure it out. Hopefully, we can take the series at home and finish the homestand strong. But any final thoughts from Ave?
just that the bats need to wake up a little bit. I don't know in what form or fashion that's going to come in. Uh, it's basically 1 through 9. It there's not other than Jorge Polanco. It's basically and maybe Dylan Moore. I think Dylan Moore might be statistically our second best hitter right now.
Yeah, that's got to
Maybe
change.
Rosarena, maybe Randy, but
That's got to change.
it's essentially 1 through 9 that's a big issue. So
Yep.
yeah,
All righty.
yeah,
Well, props to this. Go Mariners, and we will see you after the Cincy series.
bang.